Welcome to Amped Practice 4.0. This practice is preparation for Hanumanasana or splits pose. So you're going to want to have a couple blocks, and you will want to have a wall that's clear for what we do in the second part of this, in this sequence. Mainly what we're doing is conditioning work and a little preparatory work, and then we get kind of deep into a standing split version at the wall and your quadriceps, a nice deep quadricep and psoas opener at the wall. Now you know what we're going to do, so let's do it. Val will be demonstrating. She has a working sacrum. Okay, so begin by sitting tall. Root down evenly through both of your sits bones and rise up through the center of your body. And close your eyes. And just rest your arms however they can, relax naturally. And rest your awareness in the entire space occupied by your body. Move your awareness to the opening at the bottom of your rib cage. When you inhale, sense that opening expanding out, all directions. Then when you exhale, we're going to drop back in from the front, so the front ribs moving back into the body on the exhale. And set an intention for your practice. And on an exhale then, lower your chin. Inhale to raise your head and open your eyes. And then clear your mat, because we're going to do some work. Okay, start out in down dog. Okay, so you get in there. I try to get up from the floor. All right. So this is a core plank Vinyasa sequence. Take a moment to press down evenly through both of your hands. If you need to do anything asymmetrical with your lower body, like bend the knee or whatever, to feel that out and feel a little better in it, do that. And Val is demonstrating this marvelously. And then we'll find, some nice still symmetry. And then we'll begin to move on the breath. So inhale, take the right leg up. And exhale, lower the heel just to the height of the hip, and the hip levels out with the other. Inhale out to plank, shoulders shift forward above the wrists. And then exhale, knee in the chest, and then you're gonna, hollow the chest and round the upper back. Inhale back to three-legged dog, leg as high as you want, hip as open as you want. Then the heel lowers down, height of the hip, a little lower, and then come out to the plank. And then the exhale is knee in the chest. Okay, so we'll just do that one more time. Following your breath. All right, fun times we're gonna hold here. So for about 3 breaths, just hold, trying to take the knee higher and higher into the chest. And moving that space, right behind heart center up, so you're pushing the hands down. And then now hands can go on blocks if you like, because this next thing might require it. So hands go on blocks. You can leave this leg up in the air if you're pro like this, otherwise you could set it down. Okay, so now knees in the chest. Now take your knee really high into your chest and try to take the foot out in front of you into the lunge. Oh, that looked too easy for her. She should probably turn her blocks down a little bit.
Oh, crap.
Yeah, oh crap, the oh crap moment. And then, so she's going to do that a couple times. And this will help you with step forwards, but it'll help you with all kinds of things regarding, changing relationship of front and back leg. So this time she'll leave her foot down and then reach forward through your arms. And as low as you can now with the chest. So you want to make sure that you're as low as you can with the chest. You're lifting up as much as you can through the thumbs. Okay. When I say K, sometimes people think they're done. Okay. Okay, so from there, come back into the down dog, and then we'll do the same thing on the other side. All right, so first even out. It's good to always find symmetry before switching, to the other side. So left leg goes up. Inhale it up. Exhale, heel to the height of the hip, and the hip levels out. Inhale out to the plank, and then exhale, knee to chest. Okay, so we'll do it again. Taking the leg up. Taking the heel down, and then coming out to the plank, and then the knee in the chest. All right. this one you're supposed to hold. I was going to give you an adjust. All right, so you're going to hold out there for about 3 breaths before you place your hands onto blocks to give you a little bit more height to make that step through into the lunge work. So hands on blocks, you can choose the height that your teacher tells you to use. All right, so then the knee comes high and the foot comes down, and then you really work the core, take the foot off the floor and knee back to chest. You do that a couple more times. See that you're trying to get your foot all the way forward to be just underneath your knee as well, which it looks like she's doing great. So this one you're going to hold, okay? Yep, extend the arms out in front of you, chest as low as you can, thumbs as high as you can, and breathe. Okay, make sure you get a little hollowing in your right hip flexor. I'm just going to tell you the kinds of things that I would tell Val, and they may or may not apply to you. They usually apply. All right, so Val's been practicing for a long time, and she's been holding this pose for a long time. So we're going to place the hands down. Okay, step it back to your down dog. So if you're in M practice, you're probably pretty familiar with yoga by now. And so some of these instructions I'll give you will be more refinements. And with Val demonstrating, it really helps us to be able to do that because she's a long-term practitioner. Okay, so next up, let's come out into a plank and come onto the floor. And yeah, I'm going to be using my notes because I'm human. So go ahead and take your arms overhead. And what we're going to do is take a big inhale. On the exhale, right leg comes off the floor as high as you can and don't tip the pelvis. And then we set that down on the inhale. We're using exhale to take things off the floor, so it's the left. Yep. So do that with legs only a couple more times. And then start to add an opposite arm. So her right leg will come up and her left arm will come up. Yay. And then she does that again. And as much of the upper body comes up as possible. Okay, so a couple more of those. And see that you're not holding breath at the end of the inhale, right? We're continuing to breathe all the way through, and then it just turns around into the other half of the breath. So 2 more. I can't really adjust her here because she's on the floor, and I can't get to the floor. Okay, or else it takes a really long time. All right, palms together overhead. Take a few breaths up and down your spine. All right, so the inhale is up to the fingertips, exhaling down to soles of the feet. And then on your next inhale, that'll be the final inhale of your life. No, slide your hands a third of the way down your ribs. Hug the midline with the lower body. So the plank up off the floor has a push forward into the mat. So on an exhale, push forward into the mat. Make sure the hips come up at the same height as the shoulders and chest. Next exhale, come into a down dog. Take a couple breaths. Just push down evenly through both of your hands. And when you push downward and forward through your hands, the equal and opposing forces up and back through your hips. So that's what you want to do. Okay, and then we get to work those side planks. So inhale, I'll do a plank while I drink my tea. Okay, so these are tipping planks. So it's going to have 3 stages in which you tip. So let's just go right through them. So on the inhale, you're going to go through 3 stages. Touch the right elbow and tip your hips 30 degrees. Touch the right shoulder, you're still inhaling, tip 60 degrees. Come all the way and stack your feet and you're at 90 degrees. Then exhale, touching the shoulder and then the elbow, tipping the hips 30 and then coming back to the plank. And then the other side, okay? So it's elbow, shoulder, and then full side plank is when you stack the feet. You step the foot out so that you can control the tip of the hips, okay? So the hips are going to tip in thirds. So you're going from horizontal hips to vertical hips, but you're stopping along the way. That way you're going to get a lot more core strength than just front and sides, or front, back, and sides. So when she tips on this side, she's going to hold it here, and we're going to play with a little bit of pre-Vajrasana. So she's going to take her knee out in front of her. She's going to take hold of her big toe. Okay, so first it's knee forward, then it's knee to the sky. It's coming. Then first it's knee forward, then it's hip to the floor, then it's knee to the sky, then it's knee to the armpit. So she's going to try to take her knee, and then her leg can kind of start to straighten out, but we're not like that attached to it. That's super awesome. Okay, come out of that. Let me do a plank. All right, so that's Vajrasana. All right, so from here we're going to exhale, lower it down. And we're going to go through a little bit of fingertip cobra work. Fingers wider than the mat, as far forward as your shoulders. On an inhale, use your back to lift you up and your fingertips are light, but press your elbows back. And then exhale, release and turn your head to the side. And just continue with that on your breath. Remember, the primary movers of the pose are the back muscles. You want those contracting. And then the secondary muscles are those of the arms. So you're pressing elbows back and prying the fronts of shoulders apart. I'm drinking my yerba mate. It's from the Runner's Flat, downtown Cedar Falls. All right, so she's going to do a couple more. We're going to make sure she's being really conscious about them. Yep, she is. So keeping the neck in alignment too. Press back a little bit more here, like back it up. Yeah. I just had her press back it up a little bit more from the very base of her skull. All right, so go ahead and release down. Do you feel even? Okay. And next up, we get to plank the left side. So plank up off the floor on the exhale. Remember, if you squeeze the midline with your lower body, you're tapping into your core to support you. Okay, so now she's just going to go ahead. She can do the tipping plank, touching her elbow and her shoulder and taking those incremental steps and conscious movement. Then when she's there, then it's toes out in front and take hold with your knee up. You saw it on the other side, so it doesn't matter what happens on this one. Yeah, and then the knee comes up to the body, and as high as it can come, it's like you're trying to pull it up your side body, like rocking it. Like rocking the big thumbs up. I know you are. And she's there. Now you can work on straightening it here, but that's actually totally optional at this point in the sequence. Okay, so come out into the plank. Yes, good. Let's just go down dog. So go ahead and come in here down dog and take a few breaths. So that's kind of a lot of upper body work up until this point. We're going to switch into some lower body work. So you can walk your walk your feet wider than the mat. And then, in this case, Val's going to turn to face the front because I told her to. But you can walk your feet wider than the mat, walk your hands back, and then just come up into this. It's like a goddess position. And so her nose is straight ahead. Her toes are turned out. And her knees are, I guess I was doing knees and toes together. So you want the knees to point right out over the foot as you're moving. So do a couple of like little plies and make sure that your knees are pointing that direction. I don't know what plies are. That's what plies are. Okay. So you want to make sure of that because it can strain your knees if your knee hangs in. So looks good. They're coming straight out over the toes. Now she's going to go across one. Yes. And go ahead and lower down right shoulder to right knee, and then come down through center, and left shoulder to left knee, and coming up. And then reverse it. So we exhale when we go down, we inhale when we come up. And this is known as shadow yoga. It's a practice that comes from shadow yoga. And you're going to really feel this, hopefully, in your hips. But you can also feel it quite a bit in your core if you really work the dynamic of a vertical plane. So Val is trying to move through a vertical plane, and she is also pressing into the opposite foot. So when her body's on this side, she's pressing that foot. Now her body comes up that way, and she's pressing down with the other foot. Okay, so this will be the last one. And I lied because you got to come back down to center. So this is the very last one. Hang out there though, and let your arms go. All right, so now we're going to go into a fun standing split. So she's going to walk her hands off to the outside of her right foot, and then she's going to take off into a standing split. Yeah, how'd you know? Okay, so let your heel go as high as you want. It's going to keep going up. You're going to press out through the heel too, and you can let your hip go up, right? So tip it as much as you want. And then drop your body a little bit more like, no, your body, yeah, towards the leg. Right, now we can drop the hip. She knew where I was going though. Drop the hip. And try to turn the entire back face of your leg straight up. And this is where it gets really hard. You're trying to extend that as straight as you can. And that's your standing split. Drop your hip a little bit more. Drop your chest more. And see if you can flex your foot and take your heel back and up. Now she's going to come and step out into the goddess position again. Yeah. Okay, and then hang. Because we get to do it on the other side. So you can see how this might prep you for Hanumanasana. The splits posture. Okay, so then hands go on either side of the other foot, and then you take off, the other leg goes to the sky, you're in a standing split, And first we let the hip open in this, so your hip will feel like a warrior two hip. You extend your leg back as much as you can. So more like an open hip, like in warrior two. And we do that at first to give ourselves a little more freedom. And then internally rotate the leg, and that's where it's the dropping of the hip and working to keep the heel back. More like a warrior one type of hip, right? We're trying to drop it and square it a little bit more. Yeah. And then the chest drops a little bit more. And you push through the heel as much as you can, lengthening as well as lifting. And then step it out. And we'll be in the goddess again. But let's turn the toes now straight ahead and do just a wide leg forward fold, Eka Pada Koundinyasana. So you can do this with as wide a feet as you want. Just make sure toes are straight ahead or even slightly turned in. And let your body hang. Let your weight come forward on the balls of the feet. So upper body gets to drop. And you feel just like you might even do a somersault. All right, cool. Then we step it out into the down dog again. So we only have one more upper body thing to do before we move through a sun salute. So it is some work with up dog. Okay, so we can put a block between our hands, and you'll have to figure it out on your own. I'm gonna grab one of these blocks, she says.
Do you want me to do it?
Okay, we'll just speed up that part of the video. So the block is gonna go, like if you take the center line of your chest, the very center line of your chest, and we wanna set the block down the center line of the chest, and then we want a vertical forearm. So the block is gonna line up somewhere that would make your forearm vertical. And you're going to figure out where that is. You know, it'll be anywhere between, the back of the block will be anywhere between the thumb and, you know, somewhere out in the final phalanges of your index finger. That's where you're going to set it. Okay, so I'll put that there, and then Val's going to place it where it's supposed to go. Okay.
Hold on.
Stay hydrated during your practice. It's really warm in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's warm where you're practicing.
I turned on the air, it doesn't hurt.
Aww. Okay, so the inhale is out to the plank. And the exhale is shift your weight forward. Your elbows will stay right where they are, and we come chaturanga. Awesome. Inhale to the up dog, chest forward and through the upper arms. Exhale into down dog, and then take an extra breath. And then we'll do it again. Out to the plank on the inhale. Your elbows are where they need to be, so shift your whole body forward. Chest open. Inhale to the up dog, chest continues to open, and the shoulders roll back. And then the exhale is into the down dog. Take an extra breath. And so we'll just do one more of those. All right, shoulders open and back. Yeah, so try to spin the inner elbows forward when you're in the up dog. It can really help. All right, so let's go ahead and step to the top of the mat, and we'll go through a sun salute sequence that has a little more hip opening in it. Okay, weight shifts forward on the balls of your feet when you're in this Uttanasana, and let your breath return. And then we're going to move through. So inhale to come all the way up, nice straight spine, just like she demonstrated. Hands come to heart center. This is a good time to recall your intention. It's also a good time to get a drink of tea. Yerba mate.
Here
From the runner's flat. Okay. So here we go with the sun salute. Release the hands. On inhale, sweep up through the side body, Tadasana. Exhale, keep the arms extended, Uttanasana. Back straight the whole way till the end. Inhale, extension posture. And then exhale, place your hands, lean into them. So place the hands and lean into them a lot. Look out in front of you a little bit. I'm going to make her take one more breath. All right, so the next exhale is a step or jump back chaturanga. Nice. And then the inhale to the up dog, so sweeping the chest forward. Yep, and then down dog, exhale. And we'll go with right leg up. We're going to go inhale, right leg up, and exhale, sweep it way forward, warrior two. Raise up to a warrior two with your left heel planted. And then move right into Konasana with the arm inside of the leg, because we're going to bind it right away. So then drop the left arm behind your back, take the other one underneath, yeah, make the bind. So now Val's going to really try to roll her back over her thigh, and her head has to come back to be able to do it, and it's looking awesome. And then from there, we're going to transition to let go of the bind, hold on to your right big toe. want to straighten the leg. Hold the bind, go back to your bind, sorry, and then work on straightening the knee. So that's what we want to do first. So see if you can get that knee straight so you're kind of turning it into a little bit of a triangle already. Yeah. And then from there, you're going to release the right hand and take hold of the toe. Take your left arm up to the sky. So now we have a nice wide stance triangle. And we're keeping that right shoulder, or the one that's closest to the leg, keeping it right above the leg, and then the other shoulder's right above that. Perfect. Now she's going to keep holding onto her toe. She's going to bend into her knee and place the left hand down, flat on the mat, so that she can tip into Vajrasthasana on the opposite side. So the side plank, holding the toe and extending the leg up to the sky. Yeah, yes. Okay, hold it as long as you like. Then do a down dog. And then take a few breaths. Okay. So this is a good symmetrizing pose, I like to say. So, take advantage of that effect of it. You want to push down evenly, left and right, through the hands. And then go into an Uttanasana. Oh, sorry. Inhale lots of plank. Inhale lots of plank. Exhale. This is what I wanted to do. Not really. Exhale, lower all the way down. We're going to go ahead and do a Cobra because I guess that's where we're going. So inhale into a high Cobra. Slide your hands back to where you can get your entire curve of your spine in a nice continuous arc. Yeah. So the space behind the heart moves in, the shoulders move back. That's perfection. And then from there, you can slide your hands back a little bit further. And you can up dog and then exhale, exhale, down dog. We're going to just go there. Yeah. Okay. Next inhale, left leg goes up. We're going to take it all the way forward into warrior two. Plant the heel, raise it up. Yeah. Transition. So it's a Parsvakonasana. You can reach your arm forward first like I did before, and then sweep it behind your back. And you can see her making the bind here. Then she's going to work to lay her upper back more to the side of her mat. Yeah, and her head is coming back too. And then the fun part, try to straighten this leg as best as you can. Yeah, and then can you pull the whole back body towards the thigh again? And then we're going to transition left hand, the bottom arm to the big toe. Yeah. And then take the bottom shoulder over the thigh. Yep. And then the arm up, getting as big as you can through this triangle. Just come back a little bit more. Your whole body's going to come back to me a little more. Yeah. All right, so nice and smooth and even with your breath. And then we're going to place the hand down, keep hold of the toe, and try that Vajrasthasana on the opposite side. Yay! And then down. All right, take a recovery breath or two, and then we'll look between the hands. Step or hop to the front of the mat, extension posture. And then exhale to fold. Okay. And then take a couple of breaths. And then bend your knees. You're going to take your feet together, knees together. Inhale to come to chair pose. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Inhale, crown of the head forward, hips back, and you're making a straightforward spine. And then twist it to the right. You're going to hook the left elbow outside of the thigh. And try to roll everything up. Reach back for your left hip so that it keeps your body extended forward. Yeah. Inhale, back to chair. Arms overhead. Exhale, deeper chair, hands to heart center. Inhale all the way up, palms overhead, and then exhale, arc it to the right. Push down through your left foot. Make sure that you're getting good anchoring of your lateral. Inhale to come back up, and then your exhale is sit in the chair, hands to heart center. Inhale, crown of the head forward, hips back. Exhale, twist it left. All right, and then we're rolling it, and as we roll it, there's a tendency, for our spine to not be straight ahead of the room. So if the simplest thing to do is just opposite side hip presses back. So whatever direction you're facing, you're pressing back to the opposite side hip. And the shoulders rolling back and all that awesome stuff. Inhale to chair with arms overhead. Exhale, sitting deeper. Inhale, raising all the way up. And then arc it. And push down for your right foot so that you have a good anchor for your lateral. Nice and straight, especially through the arm on the lateral side that you're stretching. Inhale to raise up. Exhale, hands to heart center. And recall your intention. When it's hard, it's good to be doing it for a reason. we're going to move to the wall. And so we'll see in a moment. Okay, so now we're going to go through a nice standing split prep that's going to have a lot of good upper body work in it. And I will walk you through how to get into this first because it's important that you set yourself up well. So give yourself a lot of space from the wall, maybe like 2 feet from the wall, and come into a forward fold. And then take your right leg up the wall, and if you can't get it up the wall, it means get even further from the wall. Okay, so now what you're going to do, you're going to have your toes curled under like Val has, and you're going to press some weight in your hands. You're going to hop your standing leg back to the wall. Okay? All right, so the closest you can get it to the wall, that's where we want it. And then we're going to take our hands back enough so that Val can push into her hands and pull that leg off the floor. So if she can push into her hands and pull the leg off the floor, then she's going to fan it in a radius out to the side and take it all the way up. And then she's going to exhale it back down. And then she's going to inhale it up. And then she gets to do the other side. She's going to take it down.
Oh, jeez.
Then she's going to take a break. So then she's going to sweep her opposite leg down in a radius with control. Yeah. Back up. Okay. And then back down. Yeah, she's got to do one more. Pretend she did one more. Okay.
I'm sorry.
And then we're going to end up in don't be sorry. I made her do this like 8 times before this cut. Okay.
Okay, so
now, yeah, she's going to do the handstand at the wall with both legs up. And then we'll go back to taking the first leg down because it'll be happier to come down. Okay. So then the first leg will come down to the ground, the one that you set up with. Yeah. Now you're just going to work the standing split. So she can use her hands to push herself closer to the wall. As she does so, she's going to inch this foot up if she can, inch her knee up the wall, and try to internally rotate the back leg and drop the hip flexor towards the wall. Yeah. So it should feel super intense. And then, if she can lift that leg back up to the wall, then she'll do that. And moving away from the wall a little bit is a really good idea. And then she can take the other one down however she likes, because that one's really tired. And then
one side is definitely easier than the other.
Yes, we're not symmetrical. One side will be easier.
Okay,
so all right.
This one.
And when you find out that one side is easier, sometimes, and one side is harder, what you can do is you can do a little more work on the hard side by starting on it and ending on it. So you would do hard side, easy side, hard side. Okay, so from here, she's working her standing split, and she's trying to get the toes up the wall, trying to get the knee up the wall, trying to get the hip flexor here towards the wall. Yeah. And breathe and lengthen. And then we can release. And then we'll go into the quadriceps. So come to kneeling.
Thank you.
And so from a kneeling position, we'll come into a lunge with the knee at the wall. So kneeling position, stick one of your knees right up by the wall, shin up the wall, and the other leg comes out. Okay, so stage 1 is more for the hip flexor and psoas and kind of the full spine. So raise your arms up, and then bend deeply into your knee. Yeah, so you're letting the hips move away from the wall, and you're letting that hip flexor open. And then pull way back through the thumbs, and take your gaze up so your neck is in line with the curve of the spine. Okay, so that's part A, and then part B, we're going to get more directly into quadricep. Okay, so hands can go onto the knee. You can help yourself to take the hips back, and so the knee will straighten. You can move the foot back as you need to. You're going to get the hips as close to the wall as possible. And it might mean kind of inching your heel off to the side with like an internal rotation, not as much as what I'm showing there. But it'll come off to the side, and then you try to get everything in your upper body as close to the wall as possible. So we're trying to get the shoulders back, trying to get the ribs back, and trying to get the low back back. So it will feel super intense, as you can tell by the expression on Val's face. Okay, let's release. All right. And side 2. Okay. So this is an excellent lower body opener if you're doing any back bending, but obviously it's going to work really well for your back leg in split. So this comes from Amy Ippoliti. She is a teacher out in Colorado, and she came to Iowa a few times, and she taught some great workshops that I was lucky to be able to attend. So bend a whole lot into your knee because I think your hips can move more. Yep. And so, we try to keep our knee above our ankle, but in this, let it go if you didn't set up with like a really long stance, because it's just not that big of a deal if you've been practicing for a while. All right, so then we transition hands onto the knee, and we try to take the hips back. And it can help to take your heel closer, and sometimes having a block, alongside like where Val set her hand can be helpful. And she's pressing her hips into the wall. She's taking her shoulders back. She's sweating. She's taking her ribs, her core as far back as she can. Aren't you? Oh, these videos are so much more fun when I get to take somebody in.
Be mean.
Be mean, be evil. Just so I can see it at work. All right, so let's go ahead and release. Okay, and then our practice is done, other than what you're gonna do for release. And I recommend a symmetrical forward fold at this point. So that could be just even a child's pose if that seems like it would feel good.
Oh, yeah.
So it could be a child's pose. Sometimes the wider knee one works good here because you've been working a head-on angle, so this is kind of more a counter pose. Any kind of seated forward bend, either straddle or legs out in front. So you'll take about 5 breaths or more here as needed and let your body just kind of settle in. If you feel like attempting splits at this point, go ahead, because your body is ready to do that. Otherwise, we go right into Shavasana. Okay? All right, so take your time, make your way into Shavasana, stay in Shavasana as long as you like. And this video will come to a close while you're in that Shavasana. Make sure that you set up well. And heels are wider than hips, toes are splayed to the sides. Palms are up so that we have the sensation of shoulders falling away from each other. And let yourself rest heavily. Namaste.